The silence is quiet, and it feels
y'all
like
come on in and tell us where y'all are streaming from. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
But I promise we would take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Mountains, and I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, so we'll rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves, we'll rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up. And we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Hey, y'all. That just hit me right here.
Good evening, sister. Good evening.
Good evening. That hit me.
Yeah.
I just kind of felt that right here. How you doing?
Tell us a little bit about. It's an inspirational song, but it also leaves me feeling like, why, 400 years later, do we still have to fight and struggle to rise up? That we have to declare it, make that declaration, and dig deep within to rise up. Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I felt, right? I think we just see this resound. And I think back, even listening to Audrey Day and Rise Up, I'm thinking of Still I Rise, and I'm thinking of Langston Hughes, and I'm thinking of all of these declarations that we will rise. And yet it seems like we still cry out from the grave, I'll rise up, right? There's something symbolic for me, as I just said that the last time, that kind of I'll rise up. And all I can think of is how many people didn't rise up. So sorry, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
So for anyone, for anyone that is joining us this evening, we did start on a pretty heavy note, but that's what Sistah Chat is. We're just two sisters, and we just have these candid conversations, and welcome.
You're welcome. Hey Jen, how are you? Yes, I hadn't heard that song probably in a long time, so I didn't. I guess I got caught off guard with what I was fitting to feel on that. So, okay, what's your name?
What's my name? My name is Lashon Moseley. I am a life coach, an educator, a wife, a mother, a mentor, a God girl. Live a life of service and hopes and intention of spreading joy to all of those listening this evening. And who are you, sister?
I am God's leading, chosen, not traditional therapist. I'm Sharhonda Ford, licensed clinical mental health counselor here in Charlotte. Hope Dispenser, international coach and speaker, and I am a God girl, right? I am God's daughter, and I think the reason I'm saying that is because I had to remind myself all week, right? I feel a little weak coming on, so let me catch it. Let me catch it. I had to remind myself all week of who I am. I think identity is so important. And so even though we start off with who are you, I think it's so important for us to reflect on that daily, who we are. We get so caught up into letting someone else be our barometer, measuring ourselves to other people, even measuring ourselves to our circumstances and trials. And at the end of the day, I am just God's chosen daughter, in that every other label or identity or role or task that I have is moot outside of belonging to the Lord Jesus Christ. Like, I'm just so grateful.
Mm. Yeah, sitting in gratitude. And it reminds me, I did a training earlier this week, and one of the activities is helping people kind of, using their naming activity where they kind of use adjectives for who they're becoming, moving away from, just the usual affirmation, I am love, I am fun, but actually making it a part of your greeting to yourself, and using, some adjectives to kind of proclaim what you would like to be, how you want to show up in the world. So
Mhm.
sometimes, self-talk is a great coping mechanism and reminding ourselves of whose I am and who I am and how I want to show up in the world. So thank you for sharing that with us.
I think, and I'm going to grab something real quick if I can. When you say the whole self talk and self affirmation, and I just want to share this because this is something that I share regularly with people, and give an example of what we mean when you say self talk. I'll let you give an example, and then I'm just going to grab mine. Do you have an
Yeah.
example you use maybe with the girls, with the mentoring girls?
Absolutely. So the activity that we're doing with the girls is they use their first name and then they think of three adjectives that describe them. So for example, I would say my first name is Lashon. I am firstborn, queen of my mom, which is Rosalie Smiley, descendant of Mary Bell, and I am love, I am fun, I am empowered to go on and do great things, lover of French fries and all flavors of ice cream. So you can, so you get
And,
to have a little fun with it.
and cookies. You let cookies go for ice cream?
And it's ever evolving, right? So yesterday it was lover of salads with chicken because I was on a health kick. Today I'm really craving ice cream. So you can kind of be fun and flexible with it. Is the way we tell the girls, how they can use that. But the goal is to kind of envision yourself, in a more positive light, because so often, imagery, like we're looking at how the world defines us, and the
Mm.
images of social media and the music that our girls listen to. So it's just a fun activity that we do with them, and I know you have something similar that you do with your clients.
So yeah, I use it's based on EMDR, the core belief clusters. But one of the things that I noticed it myself, when I first saw the list, I started like circling all of them, like and just a couple to name is I'm powerless, helpless, and trapped, or I am unlovable or undeserving, or I am not good enough, right? And so the goal is to take those negative cognitions, those negative beliefs, that negative talk, and to change it to something different. So when you're in a situation and you feel like I'm powerless or helpless or trapped, to think I can control what I can, right? To realize that, we're not going to always have control over things. And so instead of feeling powerless, you can kind of relinquish that and realize that you can control the things that you can in that moment. And then I'm unlovable is I'm okay the way I am, right? That we look at other people and we measure them and we, compare ourselves, and then that's how we feel. And then the I am not good enough is simply I am enough, right? I am enough. And just getting to the point where you believe that. So you want to dive in the chat real quick?
Yep. Vanita says, yes, yes, I am. I am because of the great I am. So
Yeah.
she is right on it. And Andre says, French fry.
Yes. Dre, hey Dre. Hey Melissa.
And
Melissa.
Melissa says, my name is Melissa. I am healed, whole, and enough.
Yes.
Excellent.
Melissa, we probably need a t-shirt. We need that on a t-shirt. I am healed. Felt that, huh? Might I might have to make that after the daggone Sistah Chat. I am healed, whole, and enough. We can just go ahead and close out right there. Yeah, you got right. I think I'm gonna have to put that. I'm gonna just okay. Thank you for that there reminder, Melissa. So, how was y'all week? Tell us. I know we have these invisible watchers, so y'all let us know who's there. If you don't see us, Jen says she wants Melissa's T-shirt. Melissa, listen, I'm telling you. If I could grab the machine, we finna cut it. Heavy on the hole. No, Melissa, I need the heavy on the healed. I can feel the hole. I want the heavy on the healed. The healing. All right. All right. You're right. Okay. We're going to back up from that. Okay. We good. Okay. We good. We hold without the healing. Okay. I ain't going to get all deep and theological on y'all. We're just going to let that go. I want the healing. I want the whole. I want the whole daggone 9 yards. I'm just that type of saint. I'm asking God for everything. Yes.
And if you don't ask, you won't receive it.
That's right. You have not because you ask not. And I'm asking the good Lord for it. So how y'all doing tonight? How was your week? We're glad to have y'all back with us for another week. We are super excited. Don't take it for granted. So we want to make sure that we are giving you something that you can take away as we also get something that we can take away from. I do appreciate y'all. Last week, I'm going to tell y'all, was rough. I appreciate the prayers and the calls and just the support. I'm just so grateful because I always say that I'm not exempt and I will never apologize. I will try not to ever apologize for being unapologetically, authentically me. I will always stand firm on I am not exempt. That means I too will struggle and suffer. And Sean, we will, people look at it and they're like, well, you're a Christian, okay? Well, you're a therapist, okay? Well, you're okay. And the what I want you to know is that I am not exempt. And I'm okay with saying things like today sucked. So I don't make any apologize for that. And I'm just grateful for the support that I received throughout the week and the prayers and calls that I got. So thank y'all.
Absolutely. And I think so often as women, we are, made to feel like we have to be the strong person or the strong sister, the strong mother, the strong wife. And, that we feel that when we're weak or when, we're just not having a good day, that sometimes we feel like we don't have permission to just be sad or down or, just needing to, earlier you sent a quote to me about the pausing, and I really wanted you to share that with us this evening, because when I read it, I was like,
so wait, I'm gonna tell y'all, I might ball. Did I cry last week?
No.
Yeah. But I'm just telling, listen, look for me to be crying every time y'all see me, okay? That's where we at. We are in the season of waterfalls. TLC said, don't go chasing them. I don't have to. They're right here in present. Let me find the message, Sean, because when I sent it to you, I sent it to you as soon as the Lord sent it to me, and I didn't want to forget it. So I don't even know where it is. You might have to grab it, and then I might have to tell you what it meant, because I don't even have a clue. But I'm gonna give this little disclosure. I am in a season of just trust in God, right? You've seen me posted new trial, new trust. I'm in a season. I do know that we're going to come out on this victorious, right? Amen, Melissa. We shall come out of this victorious. Really, we are already victorious. And so I'm going to use this analogy for those of you who have been following me for some time. I use it quite regularly during sports seasons. But when it comes to being a believer, I think one of the things that we forget is that the victory already belongs to us. And so we forget that this battle we are in is a fixed fight and that Satan has already been defeated. But what happens is trials begin to come. And when they come at you, and they come at you at a rate that you don't feel positioned or grounded or steady enough to manage, you lose sight of who the players are in the game. Somehow you think you're a part of the game when really you're just watching the reels. So I think that it's important, and maybe you just eavesdropping on my conversation with me, it's important to pull yourself out. I think of all of the great games that we see in Super Bowls or playoffs or anything when the victory seems to be won in the last moment. And so maybe you didn't see the game and you hear people talking about it and they're like, man, you should have saw the game. They was down by this amount and all of a sudden so-and-so came in and they did this and they did that and they got the win. And I think that's how it is in life for us. Like we be acting like we don't know. So you go back to watch the game, even though you already know who won the game. And then when the plays are fumbling, you trying to like you flinching like you don't know what the victory is. So that's where we are sometime in our trials. We act like we don't know that the victory is already won. So maybe that's not y'all, because y'all all super Jesus-y and stuff. Maybe that's just me. But I know sometimes I forget the victory is won. I be giving Satan all this daggone power and energy, or the enemy is. Listen, don't forget who won the game. You could go back and watch the reels. Don't lose sight of the score. It's a fixed fight. Sorry.
And then it also, it reminds me of the work it takes to win the game. See, we often look at the end, right? Oh, they won, but we forget about what sacrifices, what trials, what tribulations, what it takes in order for that victory to occur. There's going to be failure. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. And I think, especially for our young people, we forget to tell them that part of the journey, that they should expect to struggle. They should expect to have to overcome some things. And even reminding us when things don't work out the way we want it to. And notice I said, want it to.
That fantasy right? not being the reality, right? But I think that what you said is really ideal, is that we're not teaching children what failure looks like, right? And we're not discussing it. It's the same thing that I say to parents. If your children see you fight, then your children should see you make up. Right? Because if not, they're not going to recognize patterns of abuse. They're going to think that it's okay to go from to because they don't see anything in the middle. They don't learn the reconciliation, and that is important to teach. The other thing that is important to teach is to show your children conflict. Because if you're hiding and you don't ever want them to see the conflict, then they won't realize conflict exists. And then when conflict does exist, they will feel, they have the propensity to feel broken or defective or inadequate because they're like, well, I've never seen this before. They never argue, so you have to show them what that looks like. I think that that's essential to do that. And I think it's essential to realize that I think of brain spotting, right? And Sean, I know we talked about in the beginning of the book, it says that David Grand, this was founded while he was working with an ice skater. And he talked about how long practice is, right? And so for any sport, if you think about it, we know that practices, first of all, they start, let's say football, for example, they start going to football camp or whatever it is in like July or August. The season is not starting already, and they're practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing for what? How long is the game? How many minutes do they actually play versus how many minutes they actually practice, right? And I think of the ice skater. He said that the ice skater skates for 7 and 8 hours just practicing for a 2-minute
routine.
program.
Yeah.
So here you are practicing and falling. They all in the practice, they fall more than anything just to get out there for 2 minutes and try not to fall. So we've got to change our mindset that it is okay to fall. You will fall in practice and you will fall in real life. But in each case, you will rise up. You have to. Vanita said, and staying in the game no matter what. You can't learn on the sidelines. Say it, Nita. You can't learn on the sidelines. And when you are forced to be benched, right? I think it's important to pay attention to what's happening in the game when you're not there. Because because you're not in the game completely at that moment doesn't mean you can't observe the plays, because you can learn from other people's actions. Don't be that person that got to feel it to believe it.
And so often, right? Like I can remember when I was a young girl, my grandmother would say, listen, everything you do in the light, it comes to dark. It might take years. It'll take a long time, but we will find out what you did. So conduct yourself accordingly, but you be like, they ain't gonna know. They ain't gonna know. I could get away with, not going to school and you getting away with it. And so what happens? You get brazen, you just keep pushing the envelope until finally it does catch up with you. But you have to, some of us learn best from actually being in the game. And I think remembering that you can survive that though, right?
You can. You can. You see, because Danita said, I feel like y'all can see me. Yeah, she said, I feel like y'all can see me. Hey, Nita, what you got going on? Say it. Lila said, you cannot learn on the sidelines. Listen, I have been laughing. There has been something that I said I was going to do, and the weather has not allowed it. And so you guys will see it because I'm finna break out, but I sent it to the family yesterday. And so, so y'all hold on, because if y'all think that mountain experience was something, listen, your girl is always pushing herself to the limit, so get ready. But sometimes you just got to get out there. You just can't watch from the sides. Melissa said, you have to be patient. You have to read that. I can't even say them words.
You have to be patient and wait for the victory. It will come when you're ready, and it'll come when it's for what's for you. It can't be taken from you. And I have to sometimes remind myself of that. Especially when we're looking at other people. Like I'm starting. I've been a teacher for 20 plus years, but as I'm starting this new business of being a life coach and watching other people grow and get clients and stuff, a part of me is like, well, what's happening? Why is it not happening for me? And so I have to remind myself, what's for me is for me. Just keep moving in my journey, keep moving forward, making, the small growths, the small changes or whatever. But it gets hard sometimes because you're looking and comparing and you're like, well, when is it my turn? And so I think what Melissa's saying about the patience is a good reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna, since we're talking about patience, I'm gonna bring up something that I've had to be patient about for 1 month and 4 days, right? And that is this
Mm.
here. Can y'all
Right
see it
there. Yep, right
right
there.
here?
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
that is this here, Chasing Rainbows. So for those of you who ordered Chasing Rainbows, we had a delay with the publishing um company. And so we are back on track, and hopefully the books will be coming out to you in the next 2 weeks. So we said 4 to 6 weeks, and I think we're going to be about a week behind. But I have had to be patient because this process has reinforced my patience. And so you're right. And the timing, just like Melissa and Lashon are saying, the timing is the Lord's, right? So we can't control what God is going to do. But the good thing about it is that when God gives us assignments, when he sends us to school, when he calls us to do these things, he knows every glitch and situation that will be there along the journey. And I think that is when we have to remember the concept of marathons and runners, and that, you train for this, you train for these marathons. You don't, with some people, you don't just get up and go and run one day because you thought you should, because you woke up and realized that you had feet. That's not what you do. You train to run. And when the actual day of the marathon comes, there are people, even as you train, but specifically the day of, there are people who are there to support you. They are there to meet you at various points along the way. And they are there to fuel you and to get you to hold on and not to give up along the journey. And so I'm going to say this to you. I want to encourage you to find your marathon folk, right? Find the folk that will run the race with you. They will not go every mile with you. Please understand that. People will not go every mile with you, but they will have milestones with you. They will meet you in certain portions of that journey, and they will be able to give you some fuel. They will be able to say, here, take this, you can keep running. They will be able to offer you a bottle of water or just a prayer or a word of encouragement. So get your sideline crew together, recognize who they are, identify them, acknowledge them, address them, and put them to task. Let people know, hey, I need you at mile 13. You got to know where people will be, where you will be best suited with the different people in your life at the different points in your life. And don't, please, do not be weary when the folk you expected to be at mile 13 don't show up. They were
And
not,
I was going
they
to
were not
say,
supposed to be here.
it's nice if we know that we're going to need them, but there are often times in life when we think we can run the journey alone, and so we don't reach out to our sideline crew, which I really like that terminology, the sideline crew. So I think also there, or there's just times where it just comes out of nowhere, and you on the bathroom floor, you in your living room, you and you wherever. And you need to know that there are people that you can just send a text. You can, throw up an SOS. Your husband, your mom, there are some people that are right behind us or right beside us. And so when we can't even make it to the milestone markers to get to the people that we put in place that are right there to swoop in and just help us get to safety, to kind of retrieve, so that we can kind of take a little pause and, just stop from, just take a break from it all right there.
I think this is a good pause for one of my Black History Month, support Black business finds. I am putting it in the chat, but I have gotten these cards. Yeah, can you see them? And
Mm-hmm.
they're called Family You Are Right. They are emotion flashcards. And I purchased these. I have seen them working. You can get them online. You can look up courageoushealingcollective.com. I'll put it in the chat. But these are 30 expressions and prompts to explore with all ages. Vanita and Zanita and Melissa, like I highly recommend them for children, for you guys to gather and talk. It says, as African descendants, being able to visualize feelings and express emotions is necessary for our mental health and wellness, which connects us to our communities. Each card deck is designed to support all ages in identifying a range of emotions while promoting self-awareness and encouraging continuous exposure to languages used on the African continent and diaspora. So I'm encouraging you, if you're looking for something to do with your family, check out Family You All Right by the Courageous Healing Collective. So we'll also put that website in there as well.
Sharhonda, how would we use those cards with our family? Like, do you have some suggestions for us?
From what I see, it's really conversation starters. So it's getting your children, I talk all the time, and I will open one, but I talk all the time about the importance of starting these conversations and just allowing your child to express their emotions, right? Of course, I'm trying to open it with a pen, and I have scissors right here, to get your child to express your emotions. But I think too that as parents, you have to express your emotions, right? You want to be able to tell your children, you want to be able to tell your children that you're feeling a certain way also. So here's an example. This card right here. So this is one of the cards in the deck. And on the back of the card, it says defeated.
Right there. Okay.
So you get to have these conversations, and there's a whole play sheet here. It has other cards that list multiple
right
multiple emotions as well. So anger, concern, I think it's over 100 cards here, but it's cards for everybody. So you have excited. So it's just showing you the emotion. And for your children who, I would even, this just came to my mind, and I don't even know if this is, a part of what he has, but for your children, you could play it as a shuffle and use it as charades, right? So where maybe your children don't want to express the emotion that that they have, but you can just have them pull a card. And if this card is frightened, okay, so act out a time that you've been frightened, or tell a story about someone that's been frightened. So this will allow them to use their imagination. It will allow them, can we see it? Sorry.
Right. Okay. Right there. Got it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Your lighting is too good.
Let's see if you can. Okay,
there we go. Yes, that's perfect. Frightened.
So I think there are so many different ways that you can use the cards. I was excited. I actually know the guy who created them. He's an awesome mental health professional. This is my favorite. I'm going to put the link in the bio, Nita. This one says hopeful. And so I think that these are great. I was excited to get mine, and there's so many things. So suggested use, I'll just say this: there are many ways to interact with the Family You Are Right decks. Ideally, create a space that is physically comfortable and emotionally safe so that participants can be attentive during the process of self-exploration. Card prompts can be used daily, weekly, or as monthly check-ins. And then they even have fill in the blanks. So the cards are awesome, y'all. And I definitely recommend them.
And the graphics were very. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and the cards are big. So for example, they're not like a regular plain deck. Mm-hmm. So if this is the size of a Post-it,
okay,
that's how much bigger the card is. So they're really big cards. They're, good to use, and I think they're awesome. All right. So that is one of my Support Black Business February buys. Okay.
And it reminds me, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, Dre purchased Black Card Revoked. And it's, there's questions, open-ended questions, as well as like Black History trivia questions. And we had a lot of fun playing the game with Mariah and Brianna, because it also, there were some things that tapped back into like the type of music we listen to, TV shows like Martin and Living Single. And so that has been a fun thing that we have been doing during COVID. I don't even know. I think we just have to say we're doing it because this COVID is going on so long now. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh, this is what we're doing to pass COVID. I think these are now just things we're doing.
Right, because it's become the new. That's one of the things that I mentioned about the normal, right? This has become the new, right? And so there is nothing normal about it except that it's new.
Yeah, so it's the new. So yes, so looking to support, for Black History Month, what are some ways that you are celebrating or acknowledging this time? We were looking for doing a little more than just sharing facts of our ancestors. We were also looking at offering some other opportunities, such as supporting Black businesses, as well as connecting with our family. Sharhonda, you have one more
I
Black
do.
business as well.
I have a couple more. So this one, I'm gonna keep the light off just for a minute. So this one, I'm gonna tag him right now in this. Let me see if I can tag him. Give me 1 second. But this book is for couples. I have all of the books in his series. So if you want to, it's called Angrily Ever After, and it is by Pastor Ed Lee. He's out of Maryland. And so this is his newest book, which I just got in the mail the other day. It says, When the Fairy Tale Ends and Marriage Gets Real. So he says, learn of the more than 45 anger cousins that may be attacking your marriage, understand the spiritual impact of anger, develop a deeper relationship with God to transform the negative emotions of anger into a positive relationship with your spouse. And there's more. Learn to be angry without sinning. That's scripture. Be angry, but do not sin. So I look forward to reading it. I'm not sure when I'll get to read it. I'll definitely funny, I turned right to When Anger Becomes Sin on page 55. So, but I definitely want to share this resource with you guys as well. And I will put a picture of these books and the links to where you can order them on the website, on the chat, right? Okay.
Yep.
And then there is, I'm going to tag her also. Because if you like any of these resources, you can let them know. Let me see. 1 second. So this is a journal. This is a journal, a mental health journal, and it is a 40-day journal for daily encouragement and self-reflection. It is called Hey Sis, and this is by Shayla Peterson, and Shayla is also a clinician. And so in Shayla's journal book, it has prompts in it, and it lines for you to write. And it says you will learn how to schedule time for self-reflection, how to motivate yourself to set and achieve goals, how to activate your ability to gain control of your emotions, create better mental habits, and release stress in a way that best fits you. So I just got this. This is the Hey Sis journal. Again, it's a 40-day journal for daily encouragement of self-reflection. All right. These are the last ones. Should I go? Yes. So these are the last ones. And this I did post yesterday, Danita. If you're still there, I want you to type something so I know you're still there. I tagged you in this, but I want you to see them. So this book is called, I don't know, what is it called, Sean? Because I can't see it. The Tale of Max.
The light is on it. I can't read it either.
The Tale of Max, the Mindless Dog. Okay, so this book is by Florenza Lee. She is an incredible children's book author, and I actually just ordered like 5 more of her books. She has written 6 in the past couple of months, but I love this book. I bought this book for one of the nieces and nephews. I got more, but I'm just showing you guys these two. And then Barry's Bear's Very Best, Learning to Say No to Negative Influences. So
Mm.
this book is by Florenza Lee. Again, she is an amazing writer. She helped me with my book. And I'm going to put the link to her books there too. She has an amazing book that just came out on Hey Nita, so you can look at these for Black Boys Read. But she has an incredible book on calming and mindfulness that I just ordered. I can't wait for it to get here. So when it comes, I'm going to show you guys that too. So that's what I got for you.
Wow. Well, thank you. And then I would also encourage, along with those independent authors, buy Black bookstores to support our Black bookstores as well. It's very convenient to order from Amazon, especially if you're, wanting something in a hurry. But our Black bookstores do need our support when we can.
Absolutely. And the same. So I say the same thing for at least as we do the book sales. We're almost finished with the pre-sales because we'll have the actual book here in the next week, we pray. And then we'll be sending them out. But if you want, you can still go online and do your pre-order for Chasing Rainbows. It is available for $15.95 on the website, SharhondaFord.com. And you also can order it on everywhere books are sold at this point. So, but you won't get an autographed copy. So I want that to be known. The benefit of purchasing your book through the website, through me, is that you will get an autographed copy for the book. You won't get an autographed copy if you order it from Barnes & Nobles, Target, Walmart, or Amazon. Okay.
The Black business I am supporting is my daughter Mariah. She has started creating custom ashtrays, heart-shaped jewelry boxes. I think today she said she just got a mold, the shape thing to make shot glasses now. Every day she's ordering new stuff from Amazon, and she is 100% buying her own supplies, supporting her own business. She has a website. I'll have to have Andre, if you're on, drop it in the chat. If not, we'll go back and add it. And she's doing custom artisan. There's the tray. I mean, there it is. Thank you. And so.
Oh, that's not it. I got to take that down. I messed it wrong. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
All right. But anyway, so yes, that is the small Black owned business that I am supporting or recommending everyone take a look at.
Awesome. And we will put it in there. I do encourage you to read though. I love Danita. Can you type the name of your effort? I don't know what to call it. And if I say the name, then there'd be no need for you to type it. So if you can type the name of your effort, then that'll be good.
The initiative with the boys.
Yes. Thank you.
I was like, what is it?
Because I know what it's called. So if I say it. So Tyrita said, I can't wait for my book. Tyrita, I can't wait for you to get it either. I will say I am super excited. The beta readers have been getting back to me, and I am overwhelmed at what people think of this book. I am overwhelmed at the feedback that I have received about this book. So if you do not, whether you have experienced infertility, trying to conceive, chasing rainbows, miscarriage, stillbirth, any of those things, this book is still going to grip you at your core because it is about life and loss and pursuit. And so I encourage all of you to get it, not just because I wrote it, but because I do believe that there is so much depth to the book beyond my personal story.
Definitely things that people can connect with. I even just remember my own struggles or journeys, of being, married 8 years before we decided to, work on our family. And it took us almost, 2 years before we were able to get pregnant. So the story, I think, relates on so many levels to women, not just, one area. So I definitely enjoyed reading it, and I am ready for the launch party.
Yes, the launch is coming. I think we will solidify that this weekend, and then we'll be able to announce it. And it'll be. Danita says she can't wait to get her book and her ashtray. Yes, Danita.
Yes, it was on. It was downstairs on the table drying, so she should be putting it in the mail soon, Nita.
Do you, do you see Dre talking about I was faking it? So Danita, listen, because I know you have some stuff too. So if you have something you are selling, it drop it in the link for all of you that are listening. If you have something that you are selling, drop it in the link. I want to make sure that we are supporting one another. Okay. And listen, not just the book, but head on over to the website to SharhondaFord.com because you can get t-shirts and you can get masks and you can get books. So there are other products. Oops. There are other products there as well. Danita, I'm waiting for my quilt. Danita is a seamstress and a cream maker and so much more. And so I can't wait. I want to make sure that we are supporting one another. I'm going to tag one more person, and that is, let me see if I can tag the business page, but that is Jasmine Bryant with Intune Counseling. I don't even know what a legal proxy is. What is Kyrie talking about? But I'm going to put the link to Jasmine. Jasmine has a subscription box for wellness that launched February 1st, and the box is amazing. So I want to make sure that legal products, please. The box is amazing. So I want to make sure that I am that I share that as well. Tyrita said, I'm going to stop by the house, put my order on the porch tray, and Lashon and Mariah. All righty.
She knows. Do you notice she said she put it on the porch? See,
Yeah,
people know.
Tyrita's respecting boundaries. So, guys, what else? And we're wrapping up. We're being real timely. Danita said, I'm not selling anything, just creating my creativity. So you guys make sure you go and follow Black Boys Read. Is that what it is? It went away from me, Sean. Can you get it?
I got you.
Explore. Okay, so good. Thanks. So Black Boys Read Books on Instagram. So you'll always be able to see good books that are coming up. I think they do. I don't know if it's public, but I'm just put it out just in case it's not. Maybe it will be one day. But they do reading calls or like Zoom calls, right, Danita? Where the boys get to read. I don't know. Maybe it's just a family thing, but you never know. So, listen, I will put the whole world out there. But
you're just excited and proud. That's all.
Yes, I am. And listen, my cousin Danita is a seamstress. She over there making shoulders on dresses, doing all types of things. So I already put my order in. I want a quilt made and some other things. A little pocketbook, all the little things she be making. I'm so excited. I'll be looking at it like, you better do it, cousin. So I think so. We're not going to end without mentioning the amazing, incredible Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
We're not going to end without mentioning what an incredible force she was in the legacy that she has left. So, Lashon.
Yeah, one of the things, the theme kind of tonight is in recognizing, the shoulders that we stand on. And Cicely Tyson was working right up till, her death 2 days before. Gayle King had did an interview with her. So at the young age of 96, Cicely Tyson did pass away, but I was watching an interview, and one of the things that they asked her is, what does she want to be remembered for? And she said, I want to be remembered for doing my best. And as simple of a phrase as that is, it left me thinking, if every day I look to try to, in that moment, do the best I can, just do our best. And so we just wanted to acknowledge, along with Black History Month, Cicely Tyson shattered many stereotypes, and she was often the only woman of color sometimes, and she made it a point to always portray strong African American or Black women in the roles that she chose, because she recognized that as she showed up on TV and in movies, that would be the image that people saw of her, and that was the legacy that she wanted to leave behind. And so I just am left with, trying to live a life or legacy and just doing the best I can.
Yeah, I guess that's a great question, right? Is what legacy are you leaving behind? I think we often get distracted by what we should be doing according to society standards. But I think that Cicely Tyson showed us that we do not have to conform. She reminded us of that. And when you look at the history of her family and her parents and even her mother, I think it's an incredible story about her mother and how her passion didn't align with what I think they said what she wanted to do. And so for parents and children alike, remember that your vision is your very own. I think that that is something profound that will stay with me, and that I will also glean from her story is that you have to realize that when God gives you something, it is specifically for you. Please don't misinterpret me saying it is about you. It is not about you. It is for you, and that he will get the glory. So don't be distracted by how you'll get there or how you will accomplish it. Your yes is enough to change the world. So what will your yes be, and what will you say no to, right? You want to be confident in your no, just as confident as you are in your yes.
Yeah. And when I look at the fact that she didn't really start acting until she was like 40 years old. And so often we feel like, time has passed for me to do X.
Mm,
Imagine if she had thought that and she had not, followed her passion and her dream. At the
mm-hmm,
age of 40 is when, she really started honing her craft. And she talked about one of the acting classes she was in, there was a guy who made her feel very uncomfortable and almost assault, the way he came after her. And she said she knew she had to go back because he had what she needed. She needed the skills, the training. And so it was really easy for her to just say, well, I'm not going to go back there because of the inappropriateness. But she said, there's something bigger in this. And so she kind of pushed through it and went through that experience. And, thank God at 40, she followed what you said, her passion, her dream, because it was something that was put in her. And when you look at the body of work and all of those actresses that she opened the door for,
mm-hmm.
it's definitely a life, a legacy to be celebrated. So tonight we honor Cicely Tyson, and we ask you, who are you celebrating? Who is it that you look to help you kind of pave your way? Because so often we are the only Black faces that we might see in our classrooms or our workspaces, our churches,
Mm-hmm.
things like that, right? Right. Yeah.
It made me think though, Sean, when you said that, it was the year I turned 40 that I decided to go back to school and get this master's for counseling, and that I had an established career as an HR professional. And it was a good job, and I had a great job, and I work real hard right now. But I think of how I was almost deterred, right? And remember that in 2000, I said I wanted to do this, and people told me that I shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so 13 years later, I chose to do what I wanted to do. And so here I am sitting firmly in my calling.
Mm-hmm.
And it took 5 years, which is grace, to get to the starting point, right? Or 3 years, which is the Trinity, to get to the practicum, and then 5 years to be able to start the practice. And here we are. I can't add 3 more years to that, but 8 years, which is the new beginning of this. And so I want to be the one to encourage you not to change your mind, or not to give up, or feel that you are too old to try something. Oops. I want you to know that you are not too old to try or start something new.
Mhm.
Surely, timing, Ecclesiastes 3, to everything there is a season. So let's not be distracted by time. The same way we look at relationships and people be like, I just was with them for so long. Well, then say so long and start over, right? It's the same thing with careers and hobbies and anything. When you feel drawn to something, pray about it. You heard that, Kyrie? I used those 3 words: pray about it, and then move in a direction that the Lord is leading you. Don't give up on your dreams for the thought of age or finances or how will it work out. You don't have to know. You don't have to know. You just have to say yes.
Yeah, and start. And often it's our self doubt, and we'll talk ourselves out of it. Like you rationalize, you'll say, well, I already have a job, or I'll wait for the kids to get older, or, all of these excuses and reasons that we come up with. And so I do take encouragement from your story, and you just saying, just start.
Just start.
Yeah.
You didn't read the quote. What is the quote? Did you
I sent
find it?
it to you. I sent it to you.
Oh, okay. Let me get it.
Yes.
And look, I ordered more books tonight from Words to Ponder, and they just got for those are the children's books. Okay, let me go. Okay. Who, yes. I said, I don't break under pressure. I pause. Sometimes the pause is all we need to regroup and reset. I'm gonna put that in the chat. So I had to make that decision today. That wasn't something that I feel like was automatic, right? That was something that I had to be conscious about and decide, right? I had to decide and then do it. I had to decide that I am not going to break under pressure. I'm going to pause. What does the pause look like? The pause looks like a regroup, right? The pause looks like, let me just take a moment
Mm-hmm.
and regroup, gather my thoughts, and figure out what to do next. You hit that reset button and you keep going.
Yeah.
Today I was like, I won't have another pity party. I know y'all was tired of them. Weren't y'all tired of my pity parties? No, I could keep
No,
going a few more days.
no, we weren't tired of them. But you know what it makes me think of? In life, we are dealt some devastating blows. For example, today would be Trayvon Martin's 26th birthday, and I think about his mother,
Mm,
right? And all of so many Black families where they have had to bury a son, or and when we think of what his mom has gone on to do,
mhm,
she regrouped,
mhm.
and now she is fighting for legislation, and making a change so that hopefully this police brutality, this senseless violence, and killing of our young Black boys will stop.
Mhm.
So I hear what you're saying about pausing is okay, but then we got to regroup and get back up.
You see, Danita. Danita said, yes, we talk about bow tie. Listen, we need some Valentine's counseling. We coming with it next week. Next week, we coming with Valentine's counseling. It's some things you could do in a COVID quarantine. It's a COVID quarantine Valentine. Yes, Danita, that is hilarious. And we start posting some tips this week. But guys, I think of the poem that Nana and Dad Pop liked. If tomorrow starts without me.
Mm.
And I think that in light of COVID-19 and all the things that are that are going on around us, um, and all the things that are going on around us, I think it's fitting to really consider those words. If tomorrow starts without me. I may post that. Just, I think it's so profound. It's a very, I think the author is anonymous, but it's a very profound poem and it really just makes you think. I posted earlier this week, is anybody else tired of not remembering or knowing who's dead and who is alive? And I feel like I have lost or know so many people that have died since March of last year that when I go to say happy birthday to somebody on Facebook, I have to first make sure that they're still living because the messages are not getting out quick enough. And so I have, went to ask somebody about somebody like, oh no, man, they died from COVID. But they weren't on social media. And so we don't know that they died. And so I'm just like, my God, you just don't know. So live your life. Live every day like it's the last day. Choose, choose to live and just honor, be honest with yourself about what you need and what you want. Extend yourself some grace and go after it. That's what I got. Sean.
I think I end on the note of it's never too late, to start. I'm also sitting with, I want to take with me remembering that, reminding ourselves of who we are and who we belong to, and patience. And it's just never too late to start, are the things that I kind of want to take in with me into next week. And thank everyone for joining us as always. And tomorrow is a new day.
Tomorrow is a new day. So we hope you guys have a great evening. Come back, share. If you want to join us next week or know someone that'll be encouraged by this, come on in. And I will make sure that I put a link to all of the resources that we talked about tonight in case you want to support, purchase, or get more information on the authors or the creators. Okay?
Broken down and tired.
Good night.
Good night.
On the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you.
Love you
So
too,
we gon'
Rita.
walk it out. Move mountains.
Move mountain.
We gon' walk it out and move.
Hey, Keisha. Thank you for your prayers, sis. I appreciate them.
I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up.
Good night,
And
Mommy.
I'll do it 1,000 times again.
1,000 times again.
I like the waves. I rise up. In spite of the ache, I rise up. And I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Mountains, bring it to its feet. Ooh, mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. All we need is hope. And for that we have each other. And for that we have each other. Yeah.